Hey, it's Sean Callagy, 2020 Vision, creating dreams and breakthroughs and crushing fear and distortion. I'm here with my amazing friend, Fernando. What's up, brother?
Appreciate you, Mr. Callagy.
Hey, what's going on for you today?
I am hanging out with you and 40, 50 other beautiful souls here in New Jersey as we go through what you call 2020 Vision and allowing all of us to truly see what we don't see.
Amazing. And so here's an incredible question. For a lot of folks, and this is difficult as we're sitting like having a slice of pizza or a salad at lunchtime, is to realize that we're sitting in a space, and this is not in service of saying, oh, everybody should want money, but I think there's three things. I'm very confident that everything people want falls into these columns: more money, more time, and or more magic and fulfillment. So would you like to make more money?
I would love to make more money.
Okay, and if you out there would like to make more money, that's what this conversation is in service of right now. Obviously the same formula applies all the time, and more magic and fulfillment. We have doors opening and closing, it's totally cool. You are an outstanding influencer, and you built a successful company, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And you have outstanding skill sets in terms of marketing and relationship development. Is that fair?
Agreed.
Okay. So how could you come to something like this and learn anything, right? Because why would that be?
Well, I always believe that I can learn, and from what I've seen you do and your ability.
But in service of people thinking that they know they know how to do this in service of that.
Well, there's always like another level, and there's always minor distinctions, and as you call it, all distinctions matter, even the small ones. And today, it's fully focused on what I've gotten today. It was one as a relationship architect, or someone that's obsessed with building communities and fixated on relationships. There was a missing piece in the process mastery, which was actually figuring out a way to maximize them, double down on them, and not only access the point relationships, but the ecosystems that they have, the sub-ecosystems. So sub-ecosystems was eye-opening. Switching the focus from constantly building relationships to maximizing them, that's a huge distinction. So just those two pieces alone, to me, is like ridiculous amounts of value.
Absolutely. So, and when we talk about maximizing the value of a relationship, that could sound like we're using people. How are we not using people?
Definitely not, because one, it's from a win-win. That's number one. And that really creates the core, because when they win, the only way I win is if they win. There's actually no other way of that working out in the formula, in process mastery, in self-mastery, or influence mastery. It's everyone has to win.
Right.
And that's what I love about it.
And so the challenging question for you out there in service of you is the question of what ecosystems are you able to access that you're not yet accessing, where you can create a win-win relationship where there's frictionlessness to dramatically accelerate the number of meetings. And Rob Gill has been here, and what was Rob Gill's shift in meetings from what to what?
From 8 to 150?
A month.
A month.
Right, so would that make you happy for your business to go from 8 meetings a month to 150 meetings a month?
Yes, it would.
Okay, and Rob's biggest challenge right now is what?
Rob's biggest challenge is figuring out how to handle all those different meetings?
Yeah. So it's been that level, that is a challenge that most people would truly enjoy having. But at the same time, so there's not like this concept of I'm sitting here saying I've got it all figured out. Well, I do have it all figured out, except the one challenge for all of us can be self-mastery. And the key final distinction that we were just talking about at the lunch is this. As we generate new and additional relationships, our self-mastery keeps us fixated in our concept of how our schedule works and what we're doing next, with enormous challenges reprioritizing to the new acquired ecosystem relationships that we have. So we're not creating the optimal ecosystem relationships, number one. Number two, we're not maximizing the openness and the frictionless aspects to it. What do we mean by frictionless? Tell people what we mean by frictionless.
Frictionless means that there's no barriers, that there's not any levels of doubt. I have to do something, I have to invest in something, this is going to be difficult, I don't know if it's going to work out, I don't trust the person. All that is taken care of when we agree to transition into that merger.
Right, the difference between friction-filled and frictionless could be, for example, like with Rob Gill. So Rob Gill was initially speaking on my stage at events that I did, and Rob Gill, I was permitting him to do that for paying me no money at all, and just to go up and speak. That is frictionlessness. That's amazing.
Deal.
Great deal. So it would be different if I said, hey Rob, you can come to my event and you can pay me $5,000 and you can't speak, but put your banner up behind me while I speak. Or we'll put it in the corner over there. That would be much more friction. So we're discussing in terms of ecosystem mergers is that all ecosystem mergers are not created equally, not even remotely. And it's where we go with the relationship in terms of access. So if it's Fernando, for example, and this is in service of, at one point you had an entertainment company, or
Correct.
something. So if you had your entertainment company, let's say that you were going to have wedding planning showcases that were going to be an ecosystem merger with you, right? There's things like that, right?
Yep.
So if they decided that every single place on their website, every single email they had on that said, oh, by the way, use Fernando, he's amazing, click this button to watch a video of Fernando, or better yet, it just opened up and Fernando's like, hey, I'm Fernando, I'm amazing, I'm the entertainment person, and you should also utilize this amazing and utterly incredible wedding planning company. That's frictionlessness. And the benefit that you might be providing to them is you could deliver a video testimonial or some energy that they couldn't otherwise create for themselves.
Yep.
Now their choice is going to be, well, do I want to do that and give all the business to Fernando? Do I want to give some to somebody else? Like, that's a negotiation. That's an influence concept. But in process mastery, element is how open for consistent contact and touch am I, with the ecosystems that we're building relationships with. And we've spent, this is not the only thing we spent time on, but this has been, I think what you're saying, a significant breakthrough for you. Yes?
Significant breakthrough. And I'm actually having one in live right now where when I think about that time in my life, what I had was tons. I had like massive, about 10, 15 wedding venues that would just throw us work all the time. And I would actually get more work from the 3 that would do what you're saying than the other 12. And I didn't get more than 3 because I was too focused on 16, 17, 18, and not on, let me just focus on 3 and then create 4, and then create 5.
Right.
And that, I'll admit that was a mistake in my process mastery.
And so what I'm hearing is that Fernando, there's columns. There's the column on the left is how many ecosystems and what are they, and the quality and quantity. In the next column is the frictionless access. So what Fernando was saying, instead of creating new ecosystems to build relationships with, if he worked on the ones that he had and created integrity-based human influence agreements that took him to more frictionlessness, your business would have accelerated dramatically more. Is that what I'm hearing?
Much more. And literally it just happened like live, like you just saw it happen.
Yeah. And here's the challenge of all these dynamics of content. The ability to translate this in videos, Fernando's been here for 2 days, and it's like, whoa, I didn't connect that dot. And so we're in service of regularly, but if I could just call it out for what it is, there is so much access that we have to generate more money in less time with greater fulfillment. Massive access beyond what anyone can believe through science and formula. And the challenge is that I think for a lot of folks, they don't have a scientific approach. And you're brilliant, super impressive, built an incredible company. I think I'm a pretty smart guy, and both of us are doing things, number one, that don't or suboptimal at least. And then if we don't, so I'm aware that they're suboptimal, the vast majority of the population, 99.99%, is not even aware of these distinctions in creating optimization. They're
Agreed, yeah. Even us who are in the space constantly, just here 2 days in this 4.5-minute conversation, things landed.
Yeah,
And it's the way that it's positioned, and the one thing, the most powerful thing, is what to do. We got to build relationships. That's easy. That's a lot more obvious. It's the how, and then more importantly, the optimization. That's really where I'm at. Because how is like, yeah, you talk to them, send them like flowers every once in a while. I had a birthday card. That's robotic. There's no human component to that at all.
So, and only in service of, not to leave a dangler. So, for example, let's say now there's an influence mastery component to why people say yes. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the concept that we're going to be talking to somebody about saying yes about using our influence skill sets. So for example, let's say that there's a chamber of commerce, we're chatting about one, and we're talking about having a program where people can come and learn to generate more money in less time, right? We're having that conversation.
Yes.
So that chamber, the optimal strategy for them, quite frankly, and for us, would be if that chamber had a relationship, it was a revenue sharing relationship, and that they were seeing videos, free speaking engagements, and some level of written communication regularly, as well as joining onto social media platforms with us. And so there was consistent, significant touches that were happening. That's frictionlessness. Each one of those things that they don't want to do creates more friction. And typically, the barriers are self-master, afraid to ask, or influence master, we can't get them to see why this would work. And like, oh my God, we just don't do that. Like we don't do that. And that's a story for another video. But does that communicate?
It does communicate.
All right, brother.
You got it.
Hey, which all learn to say. Thanks.
See you.